Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Paige Evans design team, and I'm going to start this layout with a cut file that I've already cut twice, and I have an idea here. This is Paige's butterfly border cut file, and I cut it once on white cardstock, and then I cut it again on this really pretty pink ombre pattern paper from Oh My Heart. I believe that's paper number 14. And my thought was to kind of layer it and create this slight subtle pink shadow. And then I came across this paper. I hadn't used it yet. I don't think I've used it yet, but it's also from Oh My Heart, and it's paper number 7. And I got the idea to incorporate these black and white stripes. I love pops of black in a layout, and I thought, I'm just going to see what I can come up with here. So I'm going to use the negative pieces of the butterflies and trace the top edges, and then I'm going to cut around those edges. And what I'm thinking of doing is using white cardstock as my background, and then putting the butterflies not completely in the middle, but a little bit higher than the middle line, and then completely using this black and white striped paper above that for the whole top part of the layout. And so I wanted the edges to kind of match up to the edges of the cut file, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a minute. But I just traced that with a pencil, and then I'm going to go through with my scissors here and cut it. And so now it's got the same shape as the cut file. So this is what I was talking about. I just kind of wanted the stripes to stop at the top of the cut file, and then I'm going to do some mixed media all down below that. And I haven't chosen my photos yet. I just kind of got this idea from the cut file and the striped paper, and I thought I'll just kind of start it and then see what happens. So I'm going to coat the bottom half of my cardstock with clear gesso, because at this point that is where most of my mixed media is going to go, or most of my inks or paints, whatever I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and tape down the stripes. And I didn't want to do too much, so it's not completely the top half, but it's a little less than that, I guess you would say. I didn't want my photos to be too low, because I know that I want to put them below the butterflies, kind of maybe overlapping the bottom part. And it all works out in the end. Then I decided I kind of wanted to fade out the bottom parts of the stripes, and so I pulled out the white gesso and added some smudges and some smudges to the bottom half. I'm just using my palette knife and my fingers to kind of smudge it, and I don't want the stripes to be completely whited out or faded out, but I just wanted them to be a little more subtle. So I've done this technique before. I first got this idea from Audrey Yeager, watching her make one of her gorgeous layouts doing this, and then I did it for another Paige Evans layout, and I just felt the need to do it again, and that is just using Distress Oxides and smudging them down directly onto the paper, and then using water to kind of blend and smudge the colors. And I used a couple of different colors on the blue side because I wanted to incorporate my 3 favorite colors. And when I look at Oh My Heart and Pick Me Up from Paige's collections, or out of Paige's collections, these are the 3 colors that just sort of jump out at me. And so I wanted some aqua kind of blended in with a little bit of the darker, almost navy type blue, and then some of that golden mustardy yellow, and then of course the deep bright pinks. And so I'm just adding water here and just kind of lightly smudging the color around. I didn't want to cover the entire bottom half, but I did want the color from the ink to sort of show underneath where the butterflies are going to go. And so I'm just kind of smudging the paint or the ink right up into the edge of the butterfly cut file here. And it's going to look totally different when I put the cut file back and when I start to add things on top of it. But I love how these oxides react with water, and the gesso that I added first is going to allow me to add a lot of water and do a lot of blending and smudging, and it worked out great. So I did pull out a couple of shimmers here to add some extra splatters in coordinating colors. And I'm trying to think of all the names of the Distress Oxides. I know I used, I believe, peacock feathers and faded jeans, maybe. I think it's called faded jeans. And then I used mustard seed, or no, not mustard seed. I'll have to look all the colors up. There's my pictures. There's some black and white pool pictures, and I printed them kind of small because I knew that I was going to have limited space. Fossilized amber, that's the color of the yellow. And then on the pink, I used picked raspberry and seedless preserves. They just popped into my head, so before I forget, I might as well say it. Yeah, I decided to go with black and white for the pictures because I wanted to kind of pull on the black and white stripes. I'm just adding a little more ink down at the bottom because I didn't feel like there was enough showing behind the pictures. And I kind of play around with the placement of the photos. My first thought was to group them together like they are now, but I'm going to wind up changing that. Another idea, this is another idea that I've already done, and it's, I guess you could call it color blocking, but it's, I'm trying to match bits and pieces of each color. So I've got 3 color splotches there, so I'm going to try to find a lot of blue things to go on the blue section, yellow on yellow, and pink on pink. And so I'm going to fussy cut some flowers. I've already cut 3 out, and those are from Oh My Heart. The big yellow flower, I believe, it's from a 12 by 12 that I pulled out from the 12 by 12 paper pad. I didn't have a single sheet of that, so it came from the paper pad. But yeah, I'm going to wind up pulling out some things, I think from all of Paige's collections on this one, or a lot of them. That's just some black acrylic paint that I watered down, and I'm going to kind of use it to create some really big splatters. And I'm just watering it down and using a brush to kind of splatter, and then to get the big ones, I just held the brush up high and then used my fingers to kind of smush or squeeze the bristles, and it makes a big drop of water come off, and so you get a big nice splotch. And I'm liking how this is looking. I thought about just going with the pink butterflies and not using the white on top of it because I liked how that looks, like it is right there. I really like that, but I also like the way it looks with the shadow effect, and so I ultimately do wind up putting the white on top of it, but I like how it looks both ways, honestly. Here was me kind of going, do I want to put this on or do I not? And I was just beside myself. I had to take a break. I was like, take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. Just put it on. And so that's what I did. And I do like the way it looks. I didn't want it to be too much pink, and I felt like I already have, you know, a third of this is pink, and so we're going to go with white butterflies with a soft pink shadow. And I still think that looks really cool. And it would look cool with a black layer under it also. So here's where I pull out something from Fancy Free. This is one of the Fancy Free papers that I hoard. I love these different color circles. And it's paper number 3. And this is from Paige's very first collection. So I'm not sure if any of this is even available anymore. But yeah, I hoarded this paper. So I'm going to cut out a blue circle and a pink circle and sort of use those as embellishments. The blue one says go, 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 and the pink one says most favorite. And then I'm going to pull out some puffy stickers from Oh My Heart. I got the sunglasses and a little flower. And then I thought I would kind of leave the yellow spot open for my title and journaling. And so this is kind of why I decided to split up the pictures. Now I pulled out Paige's 30-page sticker book. I knew right away that I would find some things to use. And so I'm just kind of playing around here. I don't wind up keeping that Feel Beautiful Today sticker, but I pulled out anything that matched that was floral. I'm going to use some of those little labels, or like labels, little journaling spots. I'm going to use those as layers. I'm going to use a couple of these little planner word phrase stickers because they match. I'm going to play with some of them I use and some of them I don't. But I tell you what, this sticker book has been wonderful because I have used it, I think, on my last several layouts. There's always something in there that matches, coordinates, that just goes perfectly with what I'm working with. So yeah, I'm just doing tone on tone here, pink on pink, all blue on the blue, and so on and so on. Now, I haven't glued anything down yet, so I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive foam behind my pictures. I'm not using any tissue paper today because I think everything is going to stand out enough on its own, since I've got all the color and then the black and white pictures really just sort of pop off of that. I'm not going to forget my thread on this one. If you remember one of my most recent videos, I had my thread out on the desk and totally forgot to use it, and I didn't realize it until I had photographed my layout and was in the middle of editing it. And I said, oh, where's my thread? And it wound up being just fine because I think it turned out okay. But I am going to use it on this one, and I've got my coordinating colors. I've got aqua, I've got yellow, and I've got pink. I'm going to mix two pinks together. I'm going to mix a dark pink and a light pink together, and just, I loop it together, I tuck it under, and I usually pull out an end piece to just kind of make it look nice and messy. And then I'm going to use, like I said earlier, a couple of these label stickers or journaling spots as layers because the edges of them match each section. I'm going to start to glue it all down. And even if it's a sticker, I'm still going to glue it because stickers tend to not want to stick to gesso, especially clear gesso. The clear gesso that I use, which is Liquitex, it's pretty gritty, which doesn't bother me, but I always have to add glue. And speaking of glue, I know someone's going to ask me, I get asked this almost every video, what glue I use, and that is the Scotch Tacky Glue. I get it from Michael's. I've always used it, and it is amazing. I love it. And the fine liner bottle comes empty. I got that at Hobby Lobby, and it's in the model cars section, and you can also get them on Amazon. I'm going to pull some things from the sticker book to make my title. This is, and then these are from the Oh My Heart puffy stickers, The Good Life. And I'm going to play around with this for a little bit, but I thought that would make a good title, especially since it was yellow. Here come more puffy stickers. That is the Pick Me Up puffy sticker sheet. And I'm going to use a little bow. I'm going to use some tiny little flowers. I had blue one, I had a yellow one, I had pink ones. So adorable. And then I kept looking at the butterflies, and I thought they look so, something is missing. I don't know how to describe it. Something needed to really make it pop a little more. And so I decided to trace over them with a black pen. And then I decided that the top was just too colorless. So I'm going back with those three colors. I just smushed the paint or the ink pads onto some plastic, spritz some water, and I'm going to kind of just use my brush to lightly add some soft watercolor on top of the butterflies. And I really like how this turns out. I just kind of want it to be soft and faded, and just kind of give the illusion of the color kind of going below the butterflies, behind, and just a little bit above. And I think that the white gesso kind of blending out the stripes really helps that to look nice and soft, yet still, you know, make an impact. And I like the tracing on the butterflies. I think the black lines kind of just, I don't know, it makes it look pretty cool. More black splatters. This time I'm using my shimmers, and that's a coloring. It's called Night Moves. Here's where I decided to add a little bit of stamping, and this is the stamp set from Turn the Page, and I'm going to use this little striped heart and some black ink and just scatter a few of those around. And then I decided to remove the word good and just use This Is the Life as my title. And again, I'm going to glue it down because of the gesso. And I had moved it around so much, some of the sticky had come off anyway. So I'm going to get that all glued down. And I love that tone on tone. I am going to go over the life with a black pen because I feel like I did want it to be tone on tone, but I wanted it to stand out a little more. It's hard to read. So I'm going to go and sort of add some shadows to that with the black pen. And you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And one of the last things I'm going to do is draw some lines and add a little bit of journaling, and I think that's it. Yep, here's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I love how just using a cut file like this and then finding the striped paper just sort of popped into my head for this idea, and I love how it turned out. Here are all the close-ups. You can see the fun butterflies and all the stickers and how everything kind of coordinates color on color. And this was fun to make. I really enjoy doing the tone on tone things and incorporating lots of black and white goodies. So let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.